Hey guys, this is Tranquil Flow with the anti-scam token team. Just got a video today covering AUTEM Network. This will be the first in a scam analysis video series, basically just taking a look at how a recent scam has taken place so that you can learn, grow, and hopefully avoid those kind of scams in the future. And I just want to say quickly, if you were an AUTEM, I'm really, really sorry. This sucks. It really does. Today was a brutal day on Uniswap. We had Nexi, we had Nunks, we had AUTEM, we had plenty of other scams happening. As Uniswap expands, we're only going to see more and more scams, and presumably we're going to see different methods of scamming emerge. So, AUTEM, what do they do? Well, just quickly, they were saying that you could pull your tokens to earn AUTEM, stake your pool tokens to earn AUTEM tokens. The first red flag is they're promising 200% APR, which is pretty crazy. It's kind of too good to be true. Then we had all this is basically just mumbo jumbo, to be honest. It's what they've written here could be applied to nearly any Uniswap token. For instance, they say all AUTEM transactions can be traced through the Ethereum blockchain. Wow, revolutionary stuff, guys. This is it. I mean, it's all. This is how blockchain works. That's just how it works. You know, it's nothing new. So we've got roadmap. We've got token sale allocation, 25%. Yeah, it's okay. And then we've got a anonymous team, which is not necessarily a red flag. I can understand why people want to be anonymous in this kind of scene. And we have had examples of, devs revealing their identity and still scamming. The thing that comes to my mind is FOMO Gaming, where the lead dev doxed himself and then scammed. And I don't know why you would do that, but that has happened. So, just something to take into consideration. And look, I kind of like this website. It's clean. I'm assuming they had all their links still working. Currently, none of these work, all their social medias, because they've taken it down. And something else you can do quickly is I just Googled how to check the domain age of a website. And this popped up, smallseotools.com, and it shows that this is only 8 days old. So it's very young, very recent. And so that's something you have to think about as well, especially if you have a big project or they're claiming to be a big project and claiming they've been working on this for a while. If that's true, they likely would have purchased the domain a long time ago. Something to think about. So what happened with AUTEM? So it went on a crazy run. It went at least 15 times if you bought near the bottom and sold near the top. And then they had a huge dump, a small dead cat bounce, which often actually happens with these kind of scams. You can see something similar on the BitConnect graph, actually. And then dump again and dead. So what happened? Well, so this is AUTEM Network. And so they actually kind of hid behind their claim that they locked liquidity, which if we go to Unicrypt, we can see that's actually true. So they did lock their liquidity. But locking liquidity does not mean that the project is legit. It's another step in helping to ensure that the devs can't scam you, so they can't just pull the rug out, but they can do other things. So what do they do here? Well, the dev actually left behind a function so that they could mint more tokens. We go show that. So we'll go to the token tracker. We'll go to the holders down here. We're going to go to the top address, which still owns 40%, which is huge. That's a lot of the supply. So this is the top address. So we can see originally it was transferred 950,000, and then it sold a bunch of tokens to Uniswap. So it was selling tokens. So where did it get these tokens from? This address, transfer it to them. If we look down, we can see it initially minted 180,000 tokens, and then it started transferring them to wallets, sold some directly, minted some more, and then transferred that 950,000 to that previous address. And so basically, if we look into this is the transaction. Sorry, no. This is the transaction. We'll go over here. So from 0x000, which is the burn address. So when you mint tokens, it actually comes from this address. And so we click this here, you can see they called the mint function. And so this is something that should never happen unless it's part of the token mechanics. Minting should only be done at the start otherwise. So what happened? So this is the contract. So I've gone to this tab here. They have verified it, so we know that this contract that is uploaded to Ethereum blockchain is the one we're seeing here. So let's go take a look at this. So if you don't know Solidity, this can be a little bit overwhelming to look at. I know before I started learning it, this would just be meaningless to me. So what you really want to be looking out for in particular is the transfer function and the minting function. In this case, I'll be focusing on the minting function. Although I do want to do a video, kind of like a how to read Solidity for people that don't know how to read Solidity and avoid scams. That will be coming up at a later point. But for now, we're just going to focus on the minting function. So we can see we have a bunch of functions here. And so we're going down and we find we've got a minting function. Where was it? Here. And then we keep going down. I think that's, yeah. So here we go. So, okay, so this is the mint function, and it actually calls the underscore mint, which is what we saw back up here. So this is kind of like a library of ERC20 functions. So these are all pretty standard. And so basically minting, you're just creating. So the total supply is going up. Total supply is being added to by the amount you are minting. The balance of the person calling this function is increasing. You can see it added, the amount. And then emitting. So emit is basically, it's basically sending out information so that it can be interacted and observed. So we'll go back down. So this is the mint function. So the mint function requires that the message sender is a minter. And so how do you become a minter? Well, you've got a function to add minter. And so you can add, and so, but then you can see here, it's got a require statement. So for this to pass, you need this to be true. So it needs the message sender to equals governance. So they have to have governance. And so we can see just up here, function set governance. So this is basically, to add minters and also to remove minters, you'll notice here, you need to have governance. And to have governance, it's automatically, so a constructor is something that's run once when you first set up the smart contract. So this constructor is setting up the ERC token with the name AUTEM network, the tracker AUTEM, and it has 18 decimals. So it's creating a token, and then it's saying governance is to be given to the message sender, so the person that first creates it. And so, yeah, the message sender is then given minting rights as well. So how it would normally work is actually, I'll run through that after. But so basically, what happened here is they never removed their minting privileges, and so they then went on to mint a bunch of tokens. They minted a lot of tokens and they just sold them all. And that's one way that you can get around a liquidity lock for scammers. They just, they say, hey, we've locked liquidity. And people are like, oh, that means they can't scam. But they still can. They can do shit like this where they just mint more tokens and then just dump it on you, basically. So hopefully that's pretty explanatory. Like I said, I do want to do another video taking a bit more of a look into Solidity. But what I want to do now is actually show you how it should be done. So this is zzz.finance. This was actually created after OWO pulled a scam. And so this is, I quite like this project because the dev is very upfront with providing information to prove that, they are legit. And there's no pre-sale. The dev didn't get any tokens to begin with. So I quite like this, and I'm pretty excited to see where it goes. But the reason I'm bringing it up is so that I can show you what they did right. So this is their smart contract. Again, it is verified so that we know what we're seeing here is what is on the blockchain. So we'll go down and you see, again, these are the ERC20, ERC20 contract functions, very generic ones. Go down, go down, go down. Here we go. So again, we've got the constructor. They set up the token. It's called zzz.finance. That's the tracker, 18 decimals. And then governance is given to TX origin, which is similar to message sender. It's not exact, but I won't go into it at this point. But for our purposes, TX origin is the same as message sender. We'll just say that for now. And so, yeah, so they've got governance, and then it's the same thing. To add a minter or remove minter, you need to have governance. And to set your governance, you have to have governance already, right? And so what they did is they actually provided the transactions. So first of all, you can see this is a little bit different. So you can see they have governance after the contract is constructed, but they're not automatically given minting privileges like in AUTEM. And so the first transaction is, and again, you just get this information here. Click to see more or less. So they added minter, and they added this address. It's been a bit weird, but we can see, this part. And then they minted. So they're minting again. So we'll call it 50B. So you can see 50B is minting. And they minted a bunch, presumably the initial supply of tokens. And then they removed 50B as a minter. And 1 second, sorry. All right, sorry guys, just had to quickly grab the final transaction. So the final transaction is they set governance to the burn address. And so no one can access the burn address. So no one has governance. And they've removed themselves as a minter. They're the only minter. So therefore, no further minting can take place because no one has governance. And to get governance, you need to have governance. And no one can access the burn address. So this is how you prove to people with the blockchain, with the transactions, you verify and say, hey guys, if you want to check it out yourself, look, I cannot mint any more tokens. And that is how you prevent a scam like AUTEM, where they just mint a bunch of tokens and dump on you. So I want to wrap this up because I don't want this to drag on too long. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Stay safe. It's been so many scams, and we will see more as this community continues to grow. But I really hope that collectively we can work together to try educate and grow so that we don't fall prey, we don't give these scammers our hard-earned Ethereum. So yeah, stay safe, guys. Take care. Until next time. Bye.